Thumbs up or down?
Be honest.
So you go middle, it's okay, that's good, that's bad.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, that was a quick one.
Hey guys, we bought a 1.2 kilo monster ribeye of Wagyu beef, and I'm gonna be marinating Hakushu Japanese whiskey. Now, the traditional way to cook high marbled Wagyu is to cut it into small squares. But we're not traditional. We're cooking the whole damn thing over coals and smoke. And as usual, the boys are here, they're hungry, and they're excited to try this, so I can't mess it up. I think I'm gonna take out the probe on this one.
All right, so what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna make the marinade for this bad boy. We're gonna put it in the fridge for a few hours. The longer the better. This is a big piece of meat. You don't really need to break down any, I mean, there's so much fat and so much flavor in this. Some people watching this now will probably be like, what are you doing marinating Wagyu? You don't need to, but I am, because I don't give a shit. I want to, and I want to put some Japanese whiskey on a nice piece of Wagyu. So we're gonna go with a couple shots of Hakushu. It's a double in there.
Sorry, mate. Didn't realise you were filming.
Oh, what's up?
Got the Hakushu out, have you?
I do.
Should we?
You know what? I guess we will. We should get
So,
some, I think there's some neat in the barrel in there too.
Lovely. I don't even know what you're doing. So I heard you say Wagyu, which is obviously one of my favourites.
I am marinating. I'll put the rest of that in, which is about 3 shots. So yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna marinate this Wagyu that we're gonna have in a few hours in some Japanese whiskey.
Ooh, that is delicious.
So we'll put the sugar in, which is basically about a half a cup of sugar. That's gone inside there.
Don't forget, guys, I am the #1 chef, but for these videos, I'm pretending that I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's the best at everything. Best at cocktails. He wins all the comps. We probably link the St. Patrick's Day video to this, and you'll see how he won that comp as well. He's really good. Competition over. It was pretty clinical. This bad boy won. We've given you the recipe. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you, and I hope you have a big one. Drink responsibly, like we are. Cheers.
Come on, April.
Fuck this, I need to be sick, sorry. No way.
That was your cocktail, Joe.
It was after Jay's cocktail.
You didn't try it, champ.
Yes, I did.
Whatever. So are you well enough to come back to the video?
Yeah, people hurry the fuck up.
Got a lot of respect for Sully and all his skills.
If you need tips, just comment below.
Yeah, his skills pay the bills, eh? So in here, we've got it's basically a 3-to-1 ratio whiskey to soy sauce, is what I'm using. Because I really want that whiskey flavor to come through. And I'm gonna do the exact same amount of soy sauce as I am to Worcester sauce. So again, we're gonna go, this is a jigger that's fitting 50 mils, but you can play around with the ratios yourself.
Soy sauce and sugar is pretty much the basis of most delicious sauces. Name one.
Ooh, teriyaki.
Boom. One of the best of all time, actually. Also Japanese, I believe, right?
Absolutely, the Japanese know what they're doing. So we have all our marinade in here, sugar's dissolving now. Now what you can do, again, if you have a different type of steak, you don't really need it for Wagyu because there's so much fat in there. But what you can do is you can use a bit of apple cider vinegar or a little bit of lemon juice, and that helps break down the aminos within the meat while it's marinating. This just doesn't really need it.
Wagyu beef is not something that I've always been able to have. In fact, Jay introduced me to Wagyu beef. Obviously, it's delicious. Most of you guys are probably gonna have heard of it. I personally, have lived a very sheltered life. Grew up in the countryside, brought up by hippies. Never seen a Wagyu, never heard of it.
His dad's a yoga master.
But I can see here, I mean, it looks amazing. It's like, the fat all going through it, but nice fat going all the way through it. Tell me about Wagyu beef, Jay, for the people that don't know.
Oh, I'm sure they know. Well, look, anyone that's watching this, Japanese Wagyu beef, they would serve it completely different. They would never, ever do it in a slab this big. They cut it down, they break it into its parts, and it's done in nice bites and chunk sizes. We're not gonna do that because we like to do things big, and we're just gonna cook the whole thing as it is, which a lot of people will probably be up in arms about, but hey. So yeah, I mean, look, it's obviously a specific breed of cattle, and that cattle is a much heavier, fatty cattle. So you get a lot more marbling through the beef, as you can see quite clearly. All that marbling, as you cook it, that marbling renders down and turns into flavor. Fat is flavor in meat. If you had just meat with no fat in it, it just wouldn't be nice. It would be hard to chew. It would stay in the mouth for quite a while. It's the fat that brings it down and brings it all together. And this has more fat content than any other beef on the planet. So what I'm doing now is I've got all this in here. I'm just gonna add about 300, 400 mils of water, and that is also to just allow all these flavors to come across the beef. So we're gonna put that bad boy in. 1.2 kilos of manliness right here. And we got about 100 kilos of non-manliness beside me.
Slightly more than that, actually.
So what I'll do is, I could add more water just to cover the top, just to bring the flavors across it. Now, normally what you would do, guys, is you would use a Ziploc bag, which I don't have one at the moment. So what I'm using is I'm just using a silver bowl. Not ideal. Ziploc bag will be better. You could use less of the marinade mixture and zip it up. I have the bowl, so I've got to use more of the mixture, so it costs more to do. So invest in some Ziploc bags if you can. That's her. She's gonna sit in there now and get all nice. And
how long is that nicing for?
We're gonna sit it in there for probably a good until we cook this afternoon. So I would say a fair few hours. Ideally,
What would be the optimum amount of
24
time?
hours if you could for a marinade on a steak. We don't have that today. We've about 6 hours we'll marinate for. So,
But there is marinade in my drink now, thanks, Jay. I appreciate that.
well, good, enjoy. All right, I'm gonna stick this in the fridge and let her chill. Take it out in about 6 hours, come to room temperature, and then we're gonna smack it on the coals. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna sear this really hot. So in here, this Weber setup, I'm just going to, I'm gonna pour all of, if you have a look down here, Adrian, I'm gonna pour all of my coals in here. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm gonna put my grill grate straight on top, right? So I can get super hot, right, when that goes on top. It'll get really, really hot. I can sear the steak. Then I'm gonna remove this, and then I'm gonna put this on, which is gonna diffuse the heat a little bit, and then allow me to cook slow and low. So I'm gonna sear it all up and then cook slow and low right after. So let's do that real quick, get that going, and then we'll talk about the steak. Whew, she's hot, really hot. What we've done is we've taken this out of the marinade, as you've seen. When I'm cooking a bit slower, because I obviously want to get this to the right internal temp, so we want to cook really high and seal it all up. Really, it gets some nice Maillard reaction happening, and then we're going to just slow and low it for the rest until it cooks all the way through. This will help me, putting this inside will give me the temperature. Although they have a temperature grade on this, you can never trust them. This one's pretty accurate. So I'll put that inside. That'll tell me the internal temp of the barbecue, so I know what temperature I'm cooking at. This one's going to sit inside the beef, and it's going to tell me the internal temperature of the beef. So what we'll do is we'll just season it with olive oil. It's windy as hell out, isn't it? $170. Now you can also check on the phone. So this is a cool little device. So what it's doing is it's telling me that the steak is at 52 degrees Fahrenheit and this bad boy is at 572, the actual grill. So that'll let me know right now it's good for searing, and then we're going to tone that right down, make it nice and cool, get it into around the 200 degree, 250 degree mark, and just let the steak cook nice and slow because it's such a big cut of beef. Yeah, smoking some chips, all right. I'm putting these chips on because they're going to hit onto those nice hot charcoals. They're nice and wet and moist. They're going to give off some really nice smoke. It's applewood chips I'm going with this time. Although you would normally go like a hickory or an oak with steak, with this, given that there's so much fat content, I've opted for an applewood. And then this bad boy's going on. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna sear it up real quick. We're getting some smoke on it as well, as you can see. So all I'm trying to do now is just get a nice little bit of caramelization going, the Maillard reaction, however you pronounce it.
This process is called the Maillard reaction.
That will give that nice flavor to the outside of the beef. The rest of it's gonna get cooked at a lower temperature because we want to get the fat to render down inside the steak. And that's just going to really make it super juicy. You cut into it, it's going to be heaven. I'm just searing the beef all the way around, and you'll get an idea how much this fat renders down when you just look at it. Put this diffuser plate on, put some smoking chips on. That's going to bring the heat down a bit and allow this to cook a little bit slower. So then I'll put the steak back on. So if his lads want to do the do's, do the do's. Yeah. Watch your hands. He's all right.
We got it. Feeling pretty nervous right now.
Don't go too far. Go ahead, you can come back now.
Chilling back there.
It's all right, I'll sort that out.
Oh shit.
On the other side there, look.
He's on?
Yeah, we're on.
Cool. All right, we're going back with the steak. Right into the middle.
If you need that, it's down there.
Cool. And the heat's kicking up now. If you have a look at this, right? We got 99 internal temp on the steak. We want to get that up to about 126 to 128 because that'll be medium rare when the steak's at that internal, right? But we're at 210. It's starting to kick up. The heat's going up internally because I've got this closed. So I'm just gonna open her up a little bit and probably let some heat out. I don't want that to get past 250. If we start cooking too hot, it won't give the steak enough time to really allow the internal fats to render down. We've took this off at around just shy of 130. We're going to now wrap her. Let it sit for a little bit. Not too long, because it's just nicely done internally. You can tell by the touch, more cooked out here than it is in here. That's just the nature of that. Much like if you're, I guess there's a whole method, you can view it online. I don't need to show you, teach you or whatever. But effectively, if you're touching your palm with your forefinger, that's a well done steak. You're touching it with that, it's a medium. That's a medium rare, and that's a rare. That feeling, that fat, right? So here, we're at medium rare.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we're just gonna give it a little bit of time to rest. So with a steak this size, you wanna give it a good 15 minutes just to sit.
Oh shit. Oh wow. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it looks the same.
God,
It looks the same as it did before.
The worry is that we cut into it and then what if it's not perfect? I mean, do we really know? No. What if we f***ed it up?
We? Not me.
I guess me. All right, let's go. Straight down the middle here.
It does look good on the outside, to be fair. Yeah, I can see it. Oh my god. I'm excited for you guys. Oh shit. I haven't even seen it yet.
Bring that camera in. Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, could be thicker.
No grayness around the area, right? Because when you're cooking a perfect steak, you bring it down to room temperature. And you'll see some people that'll cook a steak, right? And it's all gray here, all the way around the edges, and only a little bit of pink in the middle. That's because they cooked it when it wasn't cooled down to room temperature. This we brought down to room temperature. I cooked it at the right temperature for the right amount of time, and
It looks amazing.
she's pretty decent.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the end bread. I like a little crispiness as well.
Oh, I like the end bread.
But obviously...
What do you call it, the end bread?
Yeah, you know end bread, but it's got all the crust.
I never heard it called end bread before.
Yeah, that's end bread right there.
Best bit of a ribeye, if you're not aware, is this little piece right through here. This carries the most flavor and the most fat. This is my favorite bit. So,
That bit looks good. Oh my god, that bit looks good.
it does actually, but it looks like it might be.
Oh my god, that bit looks good.
So we will. I think I have to taste test it, don't I?
No.
Did a little eye roll there, so I assume that means it's shit.
I'm taking the inbred.
Holy. You get all the flavors, right? You get some of the soy sauce and the Worcestershire. You get the Japanese whiskey. What's that like?
Wow. Wow.
I'm gonna season this real quick with a bit of Malden salt.
Malden, Devon.
A little bit. It doesn't really need it because of the fat content in this food. It really doesn't need, but just a nice touch of salt just to finish it off. And here we are. Thumbs up or down?
Be honest.
So you go middle, it's okay. That's good, that's bad.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh, that was a quick one. You like it? Yeah, that's pretty good. Take it off with your hands. Tell us what you think. Eno.
Pushing it. The rapist is pushing it.
What's it like?
Melt in your mouth. Oh.
Fantastic.
I was not expecting it to turn out as good as this has turned out. I've never cooked a piece of Wagyu that big before. I've never seen anyone cook it. There's no channels on YouTube of people cooking it to that thickness. Most people make it much thinner. So I've kind of done something that I've never seen being done before, so to speak. But what I did is I brought it to an internal temp that I thought would be perfect to render the fat. I think it's worked out. I do think that the whiskey, the soy, and the Worcestershire actually had a really good impact on the flavor of the beef. I don't know how many steaks I've had in my life. I've had a lot, and I've eaten in some of the finest restaurants in the world. It's the best steak I've ever eaten. And I'm not saying that because I just cooked it and because we're doing a goddamn YouTube channel deal. It's unbelievable. If you follow that recipe and you use a big cut of beef,
and bring it to the internal temp that I did, and we'll put the whole recipe on the description. You try it and you tell me what you think. If you like videos like this, we'll keep making them because we're enjoying the boys having barbecues on a Friday at my house. We'll keep doing it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want us to cook next. Let us know if you don't like the videos, that's cool too. If you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, by all means subscribe, it makes sense. You log in, it's a quick click of the mouse, and then what will happen is that up on your homepage, every time we release a video, it's gonna be there and you get to see it.